Every sports bettor has an opinion when it comes to odds boost. Some people feel as though it's a trap that helps take your money away. Some people feel as though it's something that greatly helps with your profits long term. But what is the actual truth? Are odds boosts something that you should make a part of your betting strategy or something you should avoid completely? We're going to cover everything you need to know about odds boosts in today's video. This is the Board YouTube channel, the NBA content division of the Hammer Betting Network, where we go through NBA betting content. We typically go through free picks in our daily live streams, but we also add in educational sports betting videos just like this to allow you to be a little bit more informed with your sports betting and become smarter and sharper sports bettors with very easy concept that any bettor of any level can follow along and improve their strategy. And for today, as I mentioned, we are going to be going through odds boost. So if you're here, I hope you already know exactly what an odds boost is, but hopefully at the end of this presentation, you'll leave yourself more informed on how to beat the books with odds boost. So as I mentioned, hopefully you know exactly what an odds boost is, but it's boosted odds. It's when a sportsbook increases the odds of a specific market to entice the bettor to actually bet into this market. But enticing the bettor, is that dangerous? Is it good for a sports bettor? Many people, as I said in the intro, feel as though odds boosts are a trap. They are there to take your money. Well, they kind of are, but not in the way that you think. Allow me to elaborate here. There are some certain times where there are fake odds boosts, for sure, fake odds boosts. And to me, what I call a fake odds boost is when a sportsbook offers an odds boost, but actually their boosted odds are still worse odds than a different sportsbook on their regular market. So if one sportsbook boosts the odds to plus 150, but at another sportsbook, their regular line for that market is plus 160, well, that's not really an odds boost when you take into account shopping for different lines. But what odds boosts are actually there for are manipulative marketing. They are there as a marketing tactic, a promotional tactic for a sports book. It gets the bettors playing more often because they see a boosted odds. It's a little bit of a promotional tool there. And it's also a promotional tool because it helps get new customers to their book. If one sports book offers a great array of odds boosts, well, if you're a recreational bettor, you're more likely to go over there because you see all these promotions all the time rather than a book that is not offering as enticing of boosts just like that. But as I also mentioned, trapping bettors. Many people feel as though it's a trap betting into these odds. They offer odds that are so good that there's no way this can win. They must know something that we don't if they're willing to offer up a bet that is just that good. It's too good to be true. That can't be real. But I mean, it is. Sometimes it flat out is, and we'll learn how to differentiate from bad odds to good odds and when to bet on odds boost. But they're not here to trap you into betting on losing markets. They don't know the outcome of these events. They're not fixed. They aren't fixing things. The reality is sometimes these odd boosts are going to lose 100%. Good bets can lose, bad bets can win. But if you're making those good bets more often, you're going to be more successful in the long run. It's important to know that if anybody has talked about games being fixed and not to bet on odds boosts, that's a very good sign to let you know not to listen to that person because they're not fixed. Sports books are not playing offense against you, trapping you into these markets. Sports books, and this is important, are always playing defense, and they're playing defense against the sharpest sports bettors who are playing offense. They are constantly on their toes, pivoting, trying to figure out exactly where bettors are trying to get the edge and when they find an edge. And if they figure out when a sports bettor finds an edge, they change their market prices. They may suspend markets. They may take markets away, but they are not there to play offense. Sports books are playing defense. So now that we kind of understand that odds boosts are your friends a lot of the time, let's get into exactly how they can be a little bit manipulative from a promotional standpoint for these sports books. So they use these odd boosts, as I said, to manipulate your betting behavior. They're offering you inflated odds because that really appeals to your emotion and it really provides you that winning feeling. You're more likely to spend more if you feel the sensation of winning. What a sports book wants you to do, they want to get you playing on their book, but you're more likely to keep on playing longer and more often when you feel that sensation emotionally of winning a bet. So if a sports book just hands you, let's say, $50, You're less likely to spend that $50 and lose more than that in the process than if you were to win those $50. So, how can they give you $50 but also have you win those $50? Well, they can come up with an odds boost of plus 100 odds on a market that's like minus 500, let's say, boost it to plus 100, max bet 50, win 50. They've just given you those $50 and you also feel the sensation of winning. And when you feel that sensation of winning, you are provided that winning feeling. The sports book is more likely to take more than those winnings. You're more likely to lose that 50 plus more after having that psychological, emotional feeling of winning that bet. So, yes, odds boosts are designed as a promotional tool to help sportsbooks win more money. But if you can understand the tactics involved behind odds boosts, you understand why they're offered, you can ensure that you're only betting into the best markets and you can ensure that you are going to be profitable long time. You can't guarantee profitability, but if you're constantly getting really good prices on boosted odds, I struggle to see somebody losing if they follow the practices that I'm going to lay out here. So, first of all, how can you find an edge? One of the things you can do is your homework, your research, thoroughly research the event, the matches involved, stay up to date with all the recent news and developments. Last thing you want is a player that's questionable. Last thing you want is any injury issues. But by comparing to different sports books, this is going to be your biggest friend in section number 2 here. Research can only go so far, but for me, if you're comparing to sharp sports books for these odd boosts, and you can find a plus EV position by comparing an odds boost to a sharp sports book, you're very likely to find success. How I would usually go about finding an edge when comparing to sports books for game lines, comparing to Pinnacle is a great way to stay sharp and find a plus EV position with an odds boost. You take the odds boost price, compare it to what the regular line is at Pinnacle. If you're getting a big difference in your favor of that odds boost, you very likely have a good bet. When it comes to player props, I strongly advise going to FanDuel. When it's a very intricate market, a very big parlay potentially with this odds boost, not the greatest method, but a good method for line comparison is going to the Bet365 same game parlay tool. Not the greatest way to find your edge, but a decent way nonetheless. If you find a big separation on those lengthy same game parlays, from Bet365 to where you're betting, you're likely to find an edge as well. But for player props, I usually go with FanDuel. For game lines, I usually go with Pinnacle and have had success in doing that. It's important to remember as well that when there is an edge and the bettors have an edge, well, a lot of the time, if the sportsbook figures out that you do have that edge, they're going to act quickly. They're going to change those odds so that they're lower EV or even negative EV, or they may take the market away altogether. So when you find that edge, make sure you go and hit that bet so you can get it in before it potentially closes. But how can we also provide a winning strategy to this? How can we also ensure that we're being smart with our money when betting on these odds boosts? Budget management, bankroll management is always one of the keys to sports betting. Never bet more that you can afford to lose and make sure you always have a backup plan. I myself, I have a separate bank account within my bank just for sports betting fund so that I'm always on top of my sports betting. And I set a budget at the start where if, worst case scenario, I lose everything, I'm comfortable with the amount that I have in. I also would say that when you're betting, if you're very stressed about the bet that you have in play, you're very stressed with the amount of money you have in play, you likely bet too much there because sports betting should be fun. Now, winning is more fun. So that's why we have these videos here. We go through strategy to help you win, but sports betting should be fun. If you're super stressed about your wagers, maybe you're spending a little bit too much, just dial it back a little bit more here. Discipline is always very important here. Odds boosts are enticing. I get it. Odds boosts are enticing, but we want to make sure that we are not being impulsive with our wagers. Sometimes you can have a little bit of fun with a bet, but try to limit the amount that you do that. And always remember not to chase your bad bets. Don't chase bad money with good money. Stay patient. Don't rush the process. Make sure you're finding those good plus EV positions. It can take time. Sometimes you won't find any, maybe for a couple of days, but then you find the one that's really good. You stick to the best bets. You're going to be much better off in the long run. And all of this together, stay consistent with your plans. Sure, you can deviate away from time to time, put down maybe a little bit of a DGen parlay, a DGen anytime goal, anytime or first basket bet, something along those lines. But be consistent to a certain degree with your strategy, maintaining the smart bets. So, what is going to be the game plan for success when we are betting on odds boosts? The biggest thing that you can do to find success in betting on odds boosts is to leverage line shopping. Compare those odds boosts to sharper sportsbook prices. As I said, Pinnacle for game lines, FanDuel for player props. If there's a big difference there, you likely have a good bet. A lot of the time, there's very low maxes on these odd boosts as well. If you see a max 10, max $20 bet, it's probably a really, really good position. Not always, but I'd say the lower the max, typically, the better the wager is going to be. Keep track of your bets, keep track of your winnings to understand your results and improve your strategy over time. If there's certain sports where it's not working, certain sports books where it's not working, this is good information for you to know, and you can only know by tracking your wagers. Finally, stay in control. As I said, let's make sure this is fun. Let's make sure this is not stressful. Odds boosts are a great way to profit long term, but you have to make sure you're playing within your limits. As always, bankroll management is absolutely key. So, by ensuring we have our bankroll set, we're being smart with our bankroll by shopping those odds boosts to find if they are plus EV positions and taking those odds boosts, we can be profitable long term with these odds boosts. There's nothing to fear here. There are promotional tactics that really the sports book, I mean, at the end of the day, they want you to win on a lot of these odds boosts. Those main super boosts you see on the front page of certain books, they want you to win those bets because you're more likely to spend more in the long run by getting that psychological edge there and winning a bet, that emotional sensation, that winning sensation of getting those sports wagers. Important to understand that, but not go overboard when you see that winning, not be impulsive and wanting to spend that winning right away. They want you to continue to spend that, but continue to stay smart with that money that you receive from the odds boost. Continue to stay disciplined and finding those right bets, and you'll be successful. One thing to note as well on these odds boosts, one thing definitely to note, that if you're only betting odds boosts at a sports book, they're likely to limit you very quickly. You need to be still playing around with different bets within the sports book. At the end of the day, if you're winning a lot, you'll be limited no matter where you're playing pretty much, except for certain sharper sports books, which are harder to beat. But for a lot of these recreational books offering these odds boosts, trying to get market separation by having the differentiation of these odds boosts, what's very important to know is that you also need to sprinkle in other bets as well. And you can use the same sort of processes. And you can also check out the other educational sports betting videos that we have on the main page here at the Board YouTube channel. So keep it locked in the channel. We have more educational betting content, especially coming throughout the off season. So make sure you are subscribed to our channel. If you got any great information that's going to help with your sports betting out of this particular episodes, make sure you drop a like. And I'll see you again next time for more sports betting education content here on the Board, part of the Hammer Betting Network.